On January 23rd, 2017, did you formulate or have a conversation with Baker about a plan to kill Fabio?
No, I don't. Not that I could recall a whole plan when he got home. It wasn't until later that day where he said, she's going to go to the store and he's going to be home alone.
That's what he told you?
That's what he told me. And then it was a nonverbal look I gave him. Like, I was like, I'm okay. And he said, what if I go? You come with me.
What did you take that to mean?
That he was going to go through with it.
Through with what?
The killing of the victim.
Prior to this conversation, had Baker ever indicated that he was going to be the one that participated in the actual killing of Fabio?
No.
Okay. So he's now volunteering to do it with you?
Yes.
But at this point, when you woke up, you thought it was over and it wasn't happening, correct?
That is correct.
All right. So what happened what did you say when he said that?
I didn't say anything.
Did he tell you how he knew that she was going to go to the store and that Fabio was going to be home alone?
No, he said it was a text he got. He kind of jolted. He said, yo, she's home. He's home alone. You can go now. And I explained that was that nonverbal look of, I'm not doing this. And he said, what if I go and you just come with me? And he said, he asked me what size I wear and just gave me some clothes to put on.
Did this then, for you, this plan now that did this happen quickly?
Yes.
Did Baker ever tell you that earlier, while he'd been out and you'd been at the apartment, he had met the defendant at Target?
No.
Did he tell you he even went to Target?
No.
So he gave you something. What did he give you? You said he asked you what size you were. What did he give you?
He gave me a jacket or pullover hoodie, sweatpants, and shoes.
Did he say why he was giving you that?
No.
Exhibit 19, page 7. The clothing that you already identified as you and the person in the back, is that the clothes that Baker gave you to wear during this time on January 23rd, 2017 after 1 o'clock?
Yes.
And he gave you said shoes?
Yes.
Did you ask him, why are you giving me these clothes?
I did. And he just looked at me with the stop playing with me and put them on. And I just did it.
You put the clothes on?
I just put them on.
Sweatshirt, sweatpants, and tennis shoes?
Yes.
What about Baker? Was he wearing what we saw in the photograph just there?
Yes.
It was like a Sean John sweatshirt?
Yes.
Okay. What else did he tell you about leaving to go there?
He said she's going to go to the store. We have a small window.
He used the word small window?
Yes.
Okay. Did he say anything further about why it was a small window?
I don't recall. Wait. said because somebody might come to the house while she's gone.
Did he say who that somebody was?
He didn't say who it was.
We have a small window because somebody might come to the house while she's gone.
Yes.
And he was referring to the defendant?
Yes.
Okay. Did he tell you?
Sustain.
Do you know who he was referring to?
Sustain.
Did he tell you who he was referring to?
As far as
Well, first of all, how did he tell you that he knew somebody might come to the house, if he told you at all?
I think, if I recall, I think that's when I found out that he had a kid.
Who had a kid?
The victim did.
How did
And
you
he
find out he had a kid?
As we were going down as we were leaving his apartment, he let me know somebody, like, his kid might come back, might not. And then he put me in the trunk. And then I got in the trunk, and I was in the trunk for a while. And I remember he backed up close to a bush and let me out of the trunk, gave me the knife. He looked at me, he said, "Are you with me?" And like a dummy, I said, "Yeah," and I just followed him.
When you drove over there, you said he put you in the trunk?
Yes.
Okay. How long did you, was it a short drive?
Yes.
Do you know why, did he tell you why he was putting you in the trunk?
He told me he told me he didn't want me seen.
Did he elaborate on seen by who?
No, he just said he didn't want me seen.
Okay. Did Baker tell you if he knew if there were any cameras in that neighborhood or at the house that could catch you on camera?
Cameras at the house.
He told you that?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
What did he tell you about the cameras at the house?
He told me the cameras at the house.
Anything else?
No.
Did he tell you if there was a plan to make sure you weren't caught on those cameras at the house?
No.
Were you concerned about there being cameras at the house?
I was.
Yep. Did you take any precautions so that you weren't viewed on these cameras at the house?
He told me to cover my face.
Okay. Did he tell you at that time that he was going to take the DVR system connected to the house?
No.
I'm sorry, counsel. Don't raise your voice to me. It's overruled. It's overruled. Overruled.
No.
But he told you that the small window, because a kid might come back or might not. Is that what your knowledge was, that you had to get in and out because a kid could show up?
Yes.
Up until that point, did you know that the victim or the defendant had kids?
I did not.
So on the way over, there, then, where did you park, or where did Baker park?
Back parking lot. There was a store not too far from there. It's like a bush type, parked close to a bush. I remember going through a bush and entering some type of cul-de-sac where there was a house, and then we started running up the hill.
So that video, or the still shot that I showed you, People's 19, you indicated is that one of the streets that you were running up towards the house?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, did you know this neighborhood? Would you even know the streets?
No.
How long had you been running in that neighborhood before you got to the house? Was it a long run?
It was a run.
So did you park fairly far away from the house?
Yes.
Or Baker parked there?
Yes. Baker parked there.
When you're rounding this corner here, is that the hill? Did you run up a hill then?
Yes.
Okay. You mentioned earlier that he gave you a knife. How did that go down?
He gave me a knife. He said,
When
"Here,
was that?
take this." when I got out of the trunk.
And that was, as you testified earlier, what you referred to as a hunting knife?
Yes.
Okay. Did you see his knife?
No.
Did you have any conversations about who was going to do what once you got into the house?
Yes.
Where did that conversation happen? Meaning, where were you when you had this conversation?
When we got when we got to the driveway, he said the door should be open. He opened the front door and I followed him in. And in the hallway of the entrance of the door, he said he should be out back. He told me to stay low, and he creeped ahead and made sure he wasn't seen. And then he opened the door. He said on the count of 3, on the count of 3, he's gonna hold him down. And he opened the door and he held his mouth, couldn't scream. And he started stabbing him. I'm sorry. And I stabbed him once. And then he left and started running through the house and told me to go get in the car because he knew the car was in the garage.
All right, I'm going to stop you there for a minute.
I'm so sorry.
People's 7 up on the screen. Do you recognize the entrance to the house? It's Exhibit 7, page 11, which is up on the screen.
You okay to go on, Mr. Austin?
Guys, give me a minute. I'm cool. I can do this. Yes. Yes. I recognize.
Did you and Baker then, you testified you entered through the front door?
Yes, ma'am.
If you look at Exhibit 7, page 11, the left, 7, page 11, is the front door in the middle of the house right here to the left of the truck? Is that how you entered to get to the front door?
Yes, ma'am.
And then Exhibit 7, page 69, do you recognize that as the front door of the house?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, Baker told you as you're headed up there, as you testified, that the front door is going to be unlocked.
He said the front door should be open,
Should be open.
meaning unlocked.
Did he tell you how he knew that?
He told me, he said she's gonna leave the door unlocked.
When you got, and when he said she, did he tell you who she was?
The defendant.
When you got to the front door, was it unlocked?
It was indeed unlocked.
Exhibit 7, and it's 40 46 is the page on the left corner. You see the front door in the back of the photograph. Do you remember walking in this door and coming through the house?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you go straight to the area that ultimately was the back patio?
Yes, ma'am.
You didn't go into any rooms before that, anything of that nature?
No, ma'am.
Okay, Exhibit 7, page 30 in the left corner. Do you recognize this area, the kitchen with the door leading outside?
Yes, ma'am.
When you went into the house with Baker, are you together, meaning you're walking together? He's in your view as well. He hasn't gone to other rooms.
No, ma'am.
Did he go straight to this door that led to the back patio?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Prior, you said you testified that Baker told you where the victim was going to be. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And what exactly did he tell you?
He said he should be out back on the patio.
And did you go out back on the patio?
Yes, ma'am.
You've been in this house now. You've been in it before, correct?
Yes.
That back patio, was it the same back patio that the defendant had shown you months before when you were at the house?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. When you went out the door, were you behind Rob?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell us first, what's the first thing you saw as far as the victim outside?
He was sitting. I remember the pool.
Exhibit 8, 6. You came out this door, white door, and could you see the victim before you actually walked out the door?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Was he sitting in this patio area, which is indicated with the lights up top?
Yes, ma'am.
Was he facing the kitchen or the door from where you and Baker were coming from?
Yes, ma'am.
Did he appear to see you guys coming?
Not until not until Baker got close to him and he tried to yell.
What was he doing when you came through the door?
Sitting. He might have been smoking a cigar. I don't really remember. He was sitting.
Okay.
Counsel, let me interrupt you. Let's take our lunch and recess until 1:30. The admonition applies not to discuss this case among yourselves or with anyone else or the former express an opinion until the cause is finally submitted to you. See you at 1:30. On the record, here is some utility defendant is present, all counsel present, jury, and alternates are present. Good afternoon. Mr. Austin, you're still under oath. People may continue.
Thank you. When we broke before lunch, we were just talking about the point when you and Mr. Baker went through that kitchen door, patio door onto the patio. Exhibit 8 on the screen then. If you go back, did you can you tell from here, do you know where the victim was sitting when we first saw him?
I know he was sitting in a chair facing the door.
So there's 2 chairs on the right side. One of those 2 chairs, do you believe?
Yes.
Okay, and he was facing the front door?
Yeah. Well,
I
the
mean-
patio door.
All right. Now, here's another angle, and this is Exhibit 8. It's got a page 8 in the bottom left corner. This is the door that leads to the kitchen, correct?
That is correct.
And you both came through that door. You were behind Baker?
Yes.
Now, I do have to ask you to walk through what happened when you came through that door.
Baker had covered his mouth and started stabbing him, and I had covered his eyes. And I stabbed him once.
Did Baker say anything during all of this?
No.
And did you see where Baker was stabbing him?
He just started in like the mid area and everywhere. I closed my eyes after. I closed my eyes after he started stabbing him. After I stabbed him once, and then I pulled the knife out, and then he started running toward the house.
So you recall then that you stabbed him one time. Where was that at on his body?
And on the neck.
Was he still seated in the chair?
Yes.
Did he ever get up from the chair that you recall while this was going on?
No.
Is it fair to say it happened quickly?
Yes.
Now, were you simultaneously, your stab was occurring at the same time that Baker was stabbing him?
Yes.
Could you tell where on the body Baker was stabbing him?
Mid area, neck area. Then he went lower. Like I said, I closed my eyes. I didn't really see a whole lot.
Did you ever hear the victim, Fabio, say anything?
No.
During the entire episode, when you're outside on the patio, did Baker say anything to you once you're already on the patio and you were stabbing the victim?
No.
Baker ran back into the same door, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And then did you follow him in there?
Yes.
What happened immediately after the stabbing?
He told me to go. He told me to go in the garage.
Did you know how to get to the garage?
Yeah.
How did you know how to get to the garage?
It's the layout of the house.
Is that from your last time that you've been in the house, you knew where the garage was?
Well, when we came through the front door, we passed the garage.
Okay, so you knew where the garage was.
Yes.
Did you go straight from the patio then to the garage?
Yes.
Exhibit 7, page 14. There's 2 photographs here. Is that the garage that you went into?
Yes.
Now, when you said go to the garage, did you know why you were going to the garage?
Yes.
Why?
Because prior to going up there, he said that he just bought a brand new Porsche. This is, again, before I even got on the plane. So he knew that there was a car going to be in the garage.
So before you ever came to LA on January 22nd, 2017, Baker told you that the victim, Fabio, had a new Porsche?
Yes.
Okay. Was there any other conversation about this Porsche before you came to LA, other than the fact that Fabio bought a new Porsche?
He asked me if I could drive stick
When did he ask you that?
on the phone in December, I think.
Was the plan then for you, before you went to the house, was the plan then for you to drive the victim's car out of the house?
At one point,
At what point was that the plan? If you know.
I don't remember, but I do know he was like, "Can you drive stick?" Which gave me the assumption, that he wanted me to drive, but I didn't. I was like, no.
Okay, so this is in the early stages in December 2016, is that correct?
That is correct.
Now during that time frame though,
Talk a little more into the.
I apologize. I apologize.
during that time frame though, you didn't have a plan where this murder was even going to be committed?
No.
Okay, but at that time frame, he still asked you if you could drive a stick.
Yes.
When you're going up to the house to commit this murder on January 23rd, 2017, did you know that day that you're going to the house that the plan was to leave in the victim's car?
Yes.
How did you know that?
Baker told me prior to putting me in the trunk. He let me know that he's home by himself, and so the car should be in the garage. The car that he had mentioned in December. And then when we got, like I said, prior to putting me in the trunk, he's telling me all this and said, just get in the car. After the event took place, he said, get in the car. So in my mind, he was planning to drive out of there.
Did he tell you, and when you say get in the car, you're now talking about the Porsche?
Yes.
Okay. Did he tell you that day on the 23rd, you're going up the hill to the house. There's been a conversation about the Porsche. Did he tell you anything about the fact that you're going to drive the Porsche away, or where the keys were, or anything of that nature?
No, but he seemed to know where everything was.
Your Honor, I'm gonna let that be stricken as speculation.
Stricken.
Did he tell you if he knew where the keys would be?
No.
Now, prior to going to the house, did he ever talk to you about a safe?
Yes.
What did he tell you about a safe?
He said he said that they have a safe. And that I'm going to get her to give me the code to the safe or leave it open. That's what I remember hearing.
Okay. And when he was referring to her, who did he say he was talking about?
The defendant.
That he was going to get her to give the code to him or leave it open?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know what was kept in the safe? Were you ever told?
No. No, I was told. I was told that he collects things. So he
Who
also
told you
said
that?
Baker told me that. He also said that you got to make it look like a robbery.
Baker told you that.
Yes.
And when did he tell you that?
When he got in the car, actually. And a little bit prior.
Now, we've talked about two cars. When you got in the car to go to the location, or when you're about to leave after the murder? Which car are you talking about?
That came up on the way, and then when he got in the car with a pillowcase, he began to make it look like a robbery.
Okay. So after the stabbing, you went straight to the garage. Did you get in the car?
I got in the car.
And the photo you're looking at up on the Exhibit 7, was the Porsche parked in that garage?
Yes.
Do you recall, was it parked facing in, like facing the door to the house, or was it parked facing out?
I was backed into the garage.
Did you go straight to the car and get in?
Yes.
And where did you get in within the car?
The passenger side.
Do you know where, at that moment when you went straight to the car, do you know where Rob Baker went?
Through the house.
And how do you know that? Did you see him?
I didn't see him, but I had heard something, so I assumed he was rummaging through the house, looking for something.
We object to what he's doing, Your Honor.
Stricken.
Did you hear something, or did you hear Rob inside the house?
I heard commotion inside the house.
What kind of commotion are you talking about?
Didn't say. I went from the patio through the kitchen straight to the garage.
When you said you heard commotion, are you able to articulate what you heard?
I heard rummaging as I entered the kitchen.
And when you heard that, where was Rob at that time?
I do not know. I did not look for him.
When you were sitting in the car, how long was Rob inside the house while you were waiting in the car?
Maybe 2 to 5 minutes.
And then he came out to the car?
Yes.
What did you see him do when he came out to the garage?
He went somewhere in the garage and pulled something off of the wall and put it in a pillowcase.
Okay, on Exhibit 7, it's up on the screen right now, which is page number 14, there's a white cabinet type thing right beside the door that leads into the garage. Did you see him in that area at all?
Yeah,
And did you see him take something from on top of that area?
he did, and put it in the pillowcase.
Did you see what the item was?
No, I did not.
Did he tell you what it was?
No, he did not.
When you talk about a pillowcase, was this a pillowcase that you had seen before, or was this the first time seeing a pillowcase?
First time seeing a pillowcase.
Did you see anything else that he had with him?
Everything was in a pillowcase. He didn't have anything else in his hand other than keys.
He had keys?
He had keys.
Were they keys to the Porsche?
Yes.
The item that he put in the pillowcase, could you see the shape of it?
It was square-ish, rectangle, like a box.
All right. Did you ask him what it was?
I did not.
Did he tell you what it was?
He did not.
He gets in the car at the pillowcase. Do you know any of the other items inside the pillowcase?
No.
Then what happened after that?
He put my head down.
How did he put your head down?
He put his hand on my shoulder, then moved up to my head and put my head all the way down in between my legs.
Did he tell you why he was putting your head down?
No, he did not.
You're still in the garage. Was the garage door at this time, when you're waiting in the car before you pulled out, was it open or was it closed?
It was closed.
Did you see him at any point turn off the electrical panel or switch it off?
I heard it
You heard the noise of what?
of circuit box. Click, click, click.
Do you know where, or did you see him go anywhere near a circuit box?
He went toward the side of the wall after he got off. After he moved from behind the car. He went from behind the car to the side of the wall of the garage, and then got in the car.
The side of the wall in the
No,
garage?
I'm sorry. The side of the wall of the garage, then pulled the garage, the emergency garage door opener, then got in the car.
Okay, when you said the side of the garage, you're talking about the left side or the right side?
The right side.
Over here?
Yes,
Is that what I'm saying? Okay. And then you saw him pull the manual garage door opener?
I did.
Is that what's in 7? It's hanging down from the ceiling right above where the Porsche would have been parked?
Yes.
Okay. Did the garage door, was he able to get the garage door open?
Yes.
Then what happened after that?
He started the car and drove out of the driveway. And once he hit the street, he told me to put my head down in between my legs. And then I heard him say shit. And then he just kept driving. Everything was quiet.